Hi y'all, this is Miss Malika here for STEP Group 3 YouTube, and the topic is study skills. I want to remind you of the meaning of STEP. STEP stands for striving for excellence, transitioning seamlessly, embracing the college experience, and positioning yourself for success. One of the things that I want you to know is that if you are unable to send a comment under the YouTube video, that you please send me an email with your comments about the content of the material so that I know that you are watching. I have about 42 or more views, but I don't know who they're from. I think there's only 1 or 2 people who responded in a comment, who left a comment. So if you're unable to do so on YouTube, please make sure that you send me an email this week that you have viewed this video and here are your thoughts about it. But about an hour or 2 ago, actually it's been 3 hours now since we've met, but I met with Group 1 and we talked about study skills. And one of the things I asked them to do was to look back at their high school teachers and tell me the difference between their high school teachers and their style of teaching and the professors, and what are some of the differences and what are some of the things that they notice. And interesting, you know, one of the things they said was that the high school teachers were more lenient, more teacher-led. You know, if you didn't hand something in or if particular work needed to be done, the teacher would really lead that and would really prompt you and kind of talk with you about making sure you get this work done or this assignment. Whereas professors have the syllabus, there's a schedule and they go by the schedule. It's more organized in that way. It's more self-guided, meaning they're not going to lead you and guide you by the hand, but it's up to you to read the syllabus and to make sure that you understand what needs to be done, and you are the one who manages that experience. Some said that they felt like there's less one-on-one time with professors, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. But I thought that that was very interesting. There were a few other things that they said, but I want you to think about it. What are some of the differences? You've been in classes now at IUP for a week. What are some of the differences that you noticed between the professor that you've had this week, past week, and your teachers back in high school? We also talked about styles, about teaching styles. And when you think about your professors, what are some of the ways that they are teaching? Some students mentioned that some of the teaching styles were hands-on. I think there's the art, I think it was the art class where there's hands-on. Some classes are discussion-based. There's a class that's discussion-based and you're able to exchange information with your peers. One class is self-guided, and so the professor is a little bit more hands-off and kind of allows you to guide the classroom experience. And someone talked about how a professor implements videos and some visuals to help you to supplement the information and to help you to absorb the information. So we talked about that, and I think that it's really important that you are aware of the teacher's style of presenting information to you. At the same time, it's important for you to understand how you learn information, how you embrace information, how you attain or retain the information. So we talked about 3 learning styles. One, there's the visuals. Visual learners are folks who see it and they get it. They can watch it on TV. They can, you know, they're watching the colors and they're watching a story being told, or they're watching, you know, kind of like a movie type, and they get the information and they absorb it. There are audible learners who hear it, who don't mind sitting in a lecture style teaching because they hear it and they've got it, you know. And there are some who are hands-on and they need to implement what they've just heard. So they need to do it in order to understand it. And I think it's important that as you've entered IUP and this is the beginning of your learning experience here, specifically in the classroom, it is so important for you to know where you fall with your learning style. And maybe you have a combination. Some folks today said, Miss Malika, it depends on the content. It depends on the content of the information. Sometimes I'm a visual learner, sometimes I can be an audible learner. It really depends on what I'm learning. And someone said, I'm a little bit of everything. Visual, audible, hands-on, it really just depends. But you need to be aware of that. You need to be aware of how you retain information and what's your prime learning style. Because what you'll find is that if your professor's teaching style does not mesh or complement your learning style, that you'll find it hard to be successful. And so that's what we talked about today. I think it's so important for you to know where you are. So think about it. Take a few minutes. Think about it. What is my primary learning style? Am I a visual learner? Am I an audible learner? Am I hands-on? Do I need to do it? What is it that helps me to learn, and how can I incorporate that particular information so that I can be successful? Remember, student success is important here at IUP. It's like the buzz. We want our students to be successful. It is a priority for us, and whatever we can do to help you, we will do it. And so I'm hoping that this session will help you. Okay. So what we did was we put everything into context, and we said, think about this week. Think about the most difficult class you had. And I said to them, I guarantee you that a majority of folks who were in a very hard class, or a class that everybody was kind of, oh, that's a boring class. Folks were sleeping, not paying attention, not writing notes, folks sit in the back. These are some of the things that people do when they fail to do whatever it takes or have an above and beyond mentality. And that was the thread of today's lesson. You've got to go above and beyond your peers to be successful. I will give you 5 seconds to say, it's boring, I don't like it, I'm not interested in that, I don't like the way he teaches, I don't like the way she teaches. I'll give you 5 seconds to gripe about that. Okay, 5 seconds is over. At this point now, we're moving beyond that. We are not going to let any excuse keep us from being successful. We're not going to let someone's teaching style keep us from being successful. We're not going to let your learning style and the fact that it does not coincide with the teaching style keep you from being successful. You have what it takes to be successful and to do well and to strive for excellence in these classes. What you need to do is really work on, how can I go above and beyond to get the A or the B in the classes. And so that's basically what we're saying. How can I go above and beyond? What are some of the things that I can do? And we broke up into 2 groups today, and we said, Group A, or Group 1, you talk about, actually Group 1 and Group 2, talk about how you can go above and beyond to be successful in your classes. And we wrote some things down, and here are some of the things that we talked about, which I think were great, and these are coming from your peers. Number 1, build a relationship with your professor. Build a relationship with your professor. Okay? Your professor should know who you are. And they shouldn't know who you are because of any negative behavior, because you're falling asleep. But they should know who you are because you stay, which goes into number 2, you stay after class, you introduce yourself to them, you share with them your goals, and you make them aware that you want to do very well in your class, and you're expecting that. Okay? So build relationship with the professors. What else what does that look like? Something else I think about. Email your professor once a week. Hey, my name's so-and-so. Just wanted to touch base with you. Wondering if you can give me clarity about that particular topic you talked about the other day. Okay? Build relationship with your professors. Okay? Stay after class, and we mentioned that. Stay after class. Talk with them. Okay? That communication. And I had someone, I loved it. It was so honest. They said, okay, what do I say? I said, I'm glad you asked. Because what we said was, Also, go to their office and take advantage of their office hours. And if you don't know their office hours, ask them or email them and ask them. But when you get there, what do you say? Again, if they don't know you, introduce yourself. If you think they know you, introduce yourself. Say your name. Hi, my name's Malika Turner. I'm in your class at such and such a time on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm going to tell you that my goal is to do really well in your class, but I need to know, what are some things that I can do to do better? Can you give me some clarity? Or I took these notes and I didn't quite understand what you said. Could you talk a little bit about that? I really value one-on-one interaction. The next thing you want to do is study your notes. Okay? Study your notes. Review your notes. Rewrite your notes. Because sometimes you write your notes and you need clarity. You need to go back and review them. How about this? How about you're writing and you're getting sleepy, and when you wake up you realize you've written gibberish, okay? So review your notes, okay? And organize and manage yourself. Manage your time and organize yourself so that you have your notes readily available to you, and you can go back to the professor when you're in that one-on-one with them and say, hey, I didn't understand this and I have the notes here. Could you help me? Okay? So these are some of the things that your peers share today. What would I share with you? Set a goal. Write down your goal. Put your goal on your mirror. Put your goal over your bed. And that goal would be, I want to get a 3.0 or above this year. I want to get a 4.0 this summer. Okay? Write down your goals, and now we're working towards something. Okay? If you don't have a goal, you'll just get whatever comes, pretty nonchalant about it, but set a goal for yourself, and the things we talked about will help you to reach that goal. And so we've talked about, above and beyond. How can I go above and beyond to be successful? Okay, so you're a visual learner, but you're sitting in a 2-hour lecture. How can I help myself as a visual or an audible learner? One of the things we talked about was YouTube. You want to search on YouTube the topic that you heard that particular day. You can do that on your cell phone. And you might see different videos, little tutorials, things that other students across the country have created to help them study for that particular topic. And if you're a visual learner, that might help you to see it, to kind of see some of the examples that they have used. If you're an audible learner, think about this. Maybe lecture is okay. Say you got it during lecture, but you really want to hone in on your notes. Read your notes to yourself in your cell phone and play your notes back to yourself so you can start hearing it. As an audible learner, you're hearing it again, and that helps you with retaining the information. If you're hands-on, a small project, a quick project, as a hands-on learner, I think I'm going to find more information and I'll email that out to you. Some things that you can do as a hands-on learner to help you be successful in your classes. So these are some of the things that we want you to be aware of. As you know, we're reading Tricks of the Grade by Dr. Joe Martin, and he talks about some tricks as well for success. He talks about this whole idea of reaching out to others and incorporating others in your goal. For example, if you have a test this week and you don't do so well, find the person who did, okay? Find the person who got an A in the test and do these 5 things. Find out who received the highest grade. Number 2, find that student and ask how he or she studied for the exam. Number 3, make a mental note of things the student did that you didn't do. Number 4, write down what the student told you. And then number 5, implement your ideas and your strategies and their strategies so that you can be successful in the test. Now this is on page 78 at the end of chapter 9. And what's nice is that chapter 10, which is group therapy, talks about this whole idea of studying in groups, the number of folks you should have in a group, some of the information, some of the things you should do while you're in a group that will help you to be successful. And so what that does is, if you're the person who needs help and you know that 2 or 3 other people did really well, seek out those folks, okay? And ask them for assistance. Ask them, would they like to study together? So that you can watch successful people so that you then can be successful, okay? Think about it. We do it in a social setting. Socially, if we want to go to Indiana and you know a few people who are driving up, whether you really know them well or not, you're going to ask them, can I get a ride with you? I really need to get to Indiana. I'll give you gas money, but can I ride with you? Sure. You don't really know them. You didn't grow up with them. But you're willing to do that because you both have a common goal. You're trying to get to Indiana. If there's a party, okay, yo, are you walking down to the party? Yeah. Do you want to go? Yeah, I'll walk down with you. Do you know them well? No. But you both have a common goal. You both want to get to the party, and neither one of you wants to go by yourselves, or you don't want to go by yourself. So you tag along with some folks who are going. The same thing with studying. You know that someone else got an A in the test. You didn't do so well. What do? You need to link up with the people who are doing well, because you both have a common goal. You both want to do well in the test, and you both want to succeed in the class. And so why should we shy away from people who are doing well and be fearful, or I don't know them, I'm not really sure if they would mind if I studied with them? Hey, we do it in other areas of our lives. Let's incorporate that same mentality with our academics. Think about that. So we talked about professors. There are some differences between your high school teachers and the professors here on the college level. You are responsible for your experience, okay? Sometimes classes are going to be self-managed, self-guided, and you have to be responsible for your own success. How do I do that? Make myself more aware of my teacher's teaching style, my learning style, and go above and beyond to do well and to be successful. I'm hoping that this helps you a lot this week as you go into this second week. If you want to reach me, get in touch with me this week, send me an email at mmturn, mmturn as in Nancy, at iup.edu. That's mmturn at iup.edu. Send me an email, message me on Facebook. I'm there. I will be glad to answer some questions for you or refer you to some resources here on campus that will really be helpful for you. Again, please comment on the content of this video and last week's over email if you can't leave a comment on the YouTube video. And if you have any questions, again, please reach out to me this week. I hope that you have a great week. I'm looking forward to next week. And I hope that you're finding this to be helpful for you in your experience here at IUP. Thanks, and have a wonderful, wonderful week.